Have you ever wondered how something broken could become more beautiful than it was before? Look at this piece of pottery. It's called Kintsugi. It's an ancient Japanese craft of putting pieces back together. The gold-filled cracks in this pottery tell a story. And they don't just tell a story of breaking, but of becoming. They tell a story of becoming something new. They tell a story of becoming something more precious than it was before. There was a time when everything was whole and perfect and complete. The Hebrew word for this is shalom. Imagine walking in the Garden of Eden, in perfect harmony with God, with your partner, with everything around you, with the world, the earth, creation, and in perfect harmony with yourself. This was Eden, and this was God's design. This was God's plan. And not just for Adam and Eve, but for you and for me. And we know what happened. There was one choice. There was one break in trust. And shalom was shattered forever. Well, not forever. Adam and Eve's story isn't just ancient history. It's our story too. I remember several times when my own shalom was cracked and cracked again. You probably remember too. Maybe it was different for you. Perhaps it was a relationship that fell apart, or a dream that died, or a truth about yourself that you just couldn't face, or trauma that changed everything. We all carry these fractures and these places where wholeness has been broken. And if we're honest, we're all asking the same question: can what's broken ever be truly whole again? That's why we're starting this series. And over the next 6 weeks, we're going on a journey together from brokenness to restoration. And here's what we'll talk about. First, we're going to dive deep into understanding shalom, God's original design for flourishing. This isn't just about peace. Peace is just the absence of conflict. This is about wholeness. It's about wholeness in every dimension of life. It's about relationships that sing with harmony, or work that fills us with purpose and a deep sense of being exactly who we were created to be. Then we're going to look honestly at how shalom has shattered. We'll explore how trauma impacts our sense of safety and trust, and why our relationships break down so easily, and what happens when communities fragment. And how do we lose connection with ourselves and with God? But here's where it gets beautiful. Like this pottery, our story doesn't have to end with brokenness. We'll discover how God takes our fractures and fills them with gold. We'll explore practical paths toward restoration. We're going to draw from biblical wisdom. We're going to draw from some contemporary psychology and real stories of healing. And we'll look at proven pathways to finding wholeness. So this isn't just a theory. This is something I've experienced and am experiencing, and I want to share it with you. I want you to find wholeness. I want your cracks to be filled in with gold so that you'll become something more precious than you've ever been before. And each week we're going to look at some practical steps that you can take right now. Starting today, here's what I ask you to do. Begin identifying areas where your shalom has been broken. Write it down. Be specific. Learn the language to express your story. You see, the first thing that happens when trauma comes into our life is we lose language. So learn the language to express your story. And how do you do that? It takes practice. Start writing and don't stop writing. Let's take steps together toward healing. My own journey began with a very traumatic experience in our own family in 2014. And parts of my story that until then had only been fragments of memories and dark shadows and scary thoughts began to flood, and they began to come into order. And through lots of help from other people and through help from the Lord and through writing and through being kind to myself and through being honest with myself. I've been on this healing journey for 10 years, and I'm starting to feel like Kintsugi. My healing hasn't hidden my breaks, it's actually highlighted them with gold, showing how God's restoration makes us more beautiful than we were before. This is your invitation to join the journey. Every week, I'll release a new episode exploring another aspect of moving from brokenness to restoration. This isn't just a series about feeling better about ourselves. This is about healing. It's about discovering how your story of brokenness can become a story of beautiful restoration, of Kintsugi. If this resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe so you'll always know when a new video has been published. And you can visit reclaimingshalom.com/shalom-series for additional resources, reflection questions, and some community discussion. You'll find all these links in the description of this video. And remember, your breaks don't define you. They're just part of your story of becoming whole. So until next time, be kind to yourself because you're doing so much better than you think you are.